Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Indeed, all praise is for Allah. We praise Him, seek His assistance, and seek His forgiveness. We seek refuge in Allah from the evil promptings of our souls and from our evil actions. Whoever Allah guides, none can misguide, and whoever Allah leaves to stray, none can guide right. I testify that none has the right to be worshipped except Allah alone, having no partner, and I testify that Muhammad, may Allah exalt his mention, is his slave and his messenger. Inshallah, we want to take a highly specific talk about more and more knowledge about learning about Allah Jalla wa Ala. The most important, the most beautiful, the most interested subject a person can spend all his life trying to know, and he will not reach minimum knowledge about. Allah Jalla wa Ala is saying in Surah Al-A'raf. Now we will start telling names of surahs first. Surah Al-A'raf 180. Surah Al-A'raf 180. I'll try to write as much as possible. Al-A'raf. Now Al-A'raf 180. Al-A'raf 180. And Al-Isra 110. And Al-Isra 110. And Al-Hashr 24. Al-Hashr 24. And Taha 8. And Taha 8. Now let us see what are these verses telling us, and after that we are going to discuss. Surah Al-A'raf, Allah is telling us that وَلِلَّهِ الْأَسْمَاءُ الْحُسْنَى فَادْعُوهُ بِهَا وَذَرُوا الَّذِينَ يُلْحِدُونَ فِي أَسْمَائِهِ سَيُجْزَوْنَ مَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. Let us again mention the names, the verses. The verses we are going to discuss in such matter we are speaking about, which is Fiqh, ahkam, al-Asmaa was-Sifat. See the name and I'll try to translate it for you all. Fiqh, ahkam, al-Asmaa was-Sifat. See with me. Now, to understand about Allah names and attributes, it is not just general knowledge you are taking. No, there are rules. There are very specific, highly important rules we should be oriented by before our death in order to benefit. If we came to know these rules, it will differ greatly in many things to be relieved, our tension, our thoughts, our hearts, our anxiety, our stresses, our all things will be totally cured if we came to know about our Lord properly. So you should understand and you should thank Allah a lot that He rewarded you by letting you be able to know more properly perfectly about him. It's okay. Now, what is the question to be answered about should we know about Allah's most beautiful names and attributes great knowledge? I mean, are we asked to know specifically about Allah's most beautiful names and attributes? The so-called in Arabic ما حكم العلم بأسماء الله. Are we asked to know specifically and to know in details about Allah's most beautiful names and attributes? This is the question which we should answer. The verses which we are going to speak about are in Surah Al-A'raf 180, وَلِلَّهِ الْأَسْمَاءُ الْحُسْنَى. These are the proofs. These are the proofs that we should know about Allah in details, properly, from authentic sources. Because these verses are from Quran. So we are going to analyze the data inside it to know that it is mandatory to know properly about your Lord before you leave this world. Because if we leave this world, we will lack a lot of things we should know before our death to benefit there in hereafter. So the first verse is in Surah Al-A'raf 180, وَلِلَّهِ الْأَسْمَاءُ الْحُسْنَى فَادْعُوهُ بِهَا. Allah Jalla wa Ala is saying that in Surah Al-A'raf that Allah Jalla wa Ala has or belongs to Him most beautiful, perfect, full of three things: Jamal, Jalal, Kamal. You have to know that Allah names and attributes are characterized by perfect, Al-Jamal, Al-Jalal, Al-Kamal. Let us analyze. Al-Jamal, the most beautiful, the maximum in its beauty. Al-Jalal, the most honorable, the most to be looked with great respect and great glory. Al-Jalal. Al-Kamal, the perfect. It is the perfect in all its meaning, its aims, its including in meaning, in everything. We will discuss how. So all Allah's most beautiful names are characterized by the full Jamal, Kamal, Jalal. The most we are going to discuss how Allah is. These verses are the proofs for what I am saying. I am saying that we are ordered to know about our Lord. From these verses, we will see what Allah is asking us to know. وَلِلَّهِ الْأَسْمَاءُ الْحُسْنَى فَادْعُوهُ بِهَا. Allah Jalla wa Ala is telling in Surah Al-A'raf 180 that Allah has or belongs to Him the most beautiful names. so you call him by. These most beautiful names are characterized by three things. All his most beautiful names are characterized by three things: Al-Jamal, Al-Jalal, Al-Kamal. Perfection, most glorified, all of them are glorified, perfect, most beautiful. Al-Jamal, Al-Jalal, Al-Kamal. Here he is telling us, call Allah by. We are ordered to call Allah by him, by his most beautiful names and attributes. And we are ordered also to leave those doing ilhad. We are ordered to leave those doing ilhad, and we are going to know what's the meaning of ilhad. But see with me the verse saying what? وَذَرُوا الَّذِينَ يُلْحِدُونَ. See what Allah is saying. Leave those who are trying to do ilhad. وَذَرُوا الَّذِينَ يُلْحِدُونَ فِي أَسْمَائِهِ. Those who are trying to deviate the names by either changing or invoking or doing anything, but the net result is deviation from the proper meaning and aim of Allah's most beautiful names and attributes. Leave those. And Allah is saying, when you are facing your Lord, be cautious that Allah is very close and very near by His knowledge. So لا تجهر بصلاتك ولا تخافت بها. So when you are praying, neither make your voice high up, low, make it in between, high and low. Don't make it so loud, or very low, not to be heard. Just in the form of a bit more than whispering. وَبِتَغِ بَيْنَ ذَلِكَ سَبِيلًا. So the first verse is in Surah Al-A'raf, telling, we came to the conclusion that Allah is asking us to call Him by قُلُ ادْعُوا. This is an order. قُل ادْعُوا. So it is an order from Allah to call Him. قُلُ ادْعُوا اللَّهَ. So it is an order to call Allah by these names. This is from Surah Al-A'raf. Then another thing, He is telling us in Surah Al-Isra, I want you to focus. In Surah Al-Isra, قُلُ ادْعُوا اللَّهَ أَوْ ادْعُوا الرَّحْمَنَ أَيَّمَّا تَدْعُوا فَلَهُ الْأَسْمَاءُ الْحُسْنَى. Again, see with me this verse. He is mentioning that whatever you call Allah or Ar-Rahman, they are the same. قُلُ ادْعُوا اللَّهَ أَوْ ادْعُوا الرَّحْمَنَ أَيَّمَّا تَدْعُوا. That or that are His. قُلُ ادْعُوا اللَّهَ أَوْ ادْعُوا الرَّحْمَنَ أَيَّمَّا تَدْعُوا فَلَهُ الْأَسْمَاءُ الْحُسْنَى. It is an indication that Allah has many names. And also there are indications that these names, including inside the name, attribute. Because I want you to, we are going to discuss all that, but I want you to be oriented with me what I mean. There's somebody may be called Kareem. Somebody may be called Kareem. And the meaning of Kareem is generous. And he isn't generous. But Allah attributes has meaning. Has meaning. Has attributes of meaning. So, قُلُ ادْعُوا اللَّهَ أَوْ ادْعُوا الرَّحْمَنَ. If you call him by Allah, if you call him by Ar-Rahman, both are including different attribute and both are perfect, beautiful and glorified. Again, قُلُ ادْعُوا اللَّهَ أَوْ ادْعُوا الرَّحْمَنَ. That or that, both are his and both are Asmaa Husna. And we are going to say how. All these are general talk. And again, Allahu la ilaha illa huwa lahul asma'ul husna. Again in Surah Taha, Allah Jalla wa Ala is saying in Surah Taha 8, Allahu la ilaha illa huwa lahul asma'ul husna. In Surah Taha 8, Allah Jalla wa Ala, none but him has the most beautiful names. None but him has the most beautiful names. And Allah is here one of his names. It is the greatest name, and as we are going to say inshallah. So again in Surah Taha, Allahu la ilaha illa huwa, none but him has the most perfect, glorified, most beautiful names. And again in Surah Al-Hashr, Allah Jalla wa Ala is saying that Hu Allah. See, he is now telling me that he Jalla wa Ala Allah. And then he starts enumerating الخالق البارئ المصور له الأسماء الحسنى يسبح له ما في السماوات والأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم. See with me, he is enumerating that he is the creator and he is the fashioner, and all these are his names, and then reminding us again saying lahul asma'ul husna, all his names are most beautiful. And then he is telling that all inhabitants in heavens or in earth are praising him, glorifying him, admiring him. يسبح له ما في السماوات والأرض. And again he reminding us by other two names, Al-Aziz, Al-Hakim, the Almighty, the All-Wise. Now as you see that many verses in many surahs are talking about Allah's most beautiful names. So came a question: ما حكم العلم بأسماء الله الحسنى? Is it obligatory we should came to know about Allah's most beautiful names and attributes? The answer is الإيمان بأسماء الله وصفاته أحد أركان الإيمان بالله. Again. As we have said that to have Iman with Allah's most beautiful names and attributes is considered one of the pillars of Iman, because if you remember, what are the pillars of Iman? 6. The first of them is Iman by Allah. Okay? Iman by Allah includes 3. Iman by Allah includes 3 categories. These 3 categories is Tawheed al-Rububiyyah, to believe in Allah as a Lord, and Tawheed al-Asmaa wa Assefat, to make Allah unique in His names and attributes. Tawheed al-Asmaa wa Assefat, being unique in His Lordship and in His names and attributes, He should be unique in His Uluhiyyah. Comes the third one, Tawheed al-Uluhiyyah, to worship Him alone, having no partner. Again, worshipping Allah, or to worship Allah alone, having no partner, the so-called monotheism, is divided into 3 categories. Tawheed al-Rububiyyah, to make Allah alone as a Lord, and knowing the meaning of a Lord. Lord means He is responsible for all creatures. Allah Jalla wa Ala is the creator, so He is responsible of all His creatures, whether they are believers or not, whether they are human beings or not, whether they are seen or not. Again, from His Lordship is to care with the heavens and those inside the heavens, and they are not seen. They are not seen. From His Lordship, He is caring with the all kinds of creatures, and they are not human beings. And from His Lordship is to care with the clouds, mountains, seas and rivers, earth and heavens, and these are non-living. So being the Lord, He is responsible for all the universe, with all His creatures, seen or unseen, living or non-living, human or not human. So monotheism, to make Him unique Ilah, to be worshipped, is due to being the Lord, Rububiyyah. Allah, Rububiyyah means Allah deeds. Allah deeds is unique and glorified, and none can do it but Him. This is His Lordship. His Lordship should be obtained or done by a unique God or Lord in His most beautiful names and attributes. He is always and forever living. He is always and forever alive. He is living. He is all time living. He didn't sleep, even take a nap. He didn't die. He is all living, and the most in His knowledge, and the most in His capability. So this makes Him unique to be worshipped as Ilah. So 2 things makes Him should be worshipped alone. That He is in His Lordship, He isn't in need of any to support Him, and He is supporting all as a Lord. And plus, being a Lord, He is having very highly perfect, beautiful names and attributes. that makes him to be unique ilah to be worshipped. And we are going to discuss in details how he deserves to be the only unique ilah to be worshipped. Okay? So this is out of our subject, but it gives us an idea. It gives us an idea that Iman by Allah names and attributes are one of the pillars of Iman by Allah. But not only that, it is the greatest of all types or divisions of monotheism. Again, to believe in Allah with His names and attributes, it is one of the pillars of Iman. Because Iman has 6 pillars. Iman by Allah, Iman by Day of Judgment, Iman by His prophets, His messengers, Day of Judgment, and predestination with its Al-Qadr, with its good and bad portions. These are the 6 pillars of Iman. The greatest of the 6 is to have Iman of Allah. To have Iman in Allah Jalla wa Ala. That Iman of Allah, to make Him unique in your worshipping, is divided into 3 categories. Knowledge about Him as a Lord, knowledge about Him as His names and attributes, and knowledge about Him as lordship, and as a result to be unique, to be worshipped. So there is Tawheed al-Rububiyyah and Tawheed al-Asmaa was-Sifat, which will lead to Tawheed al-Uluhiyyah. So again, being unique in His lordship, being unique in His names and attributes, He should be unique to be worshipped in His uluhiyyah. So if we go to the first division, one of the divisions is Tawheed al-Asma' was-Sifat. Tawheed, to make Allah unique in His names and attributes. Tawheed al-Asma' was-Sifat. Why I am enumerating these things for you? Because I'm just now telling you that are we ordered to know about our Lord? I said it is obligatory. Because al-Iman by Allah names, to have Iman in Allah names and attributes, is one of the pillars of Iman of Allah. And Iman in Allah Jalla wa Ala is the main item in the pillars of Iman. So the pillars of Iman are 6. To have Iman in Allah is the first and the most important. And then Iman in Allah is divided into 3 categories. To be oriented by Him as His names and attributes is the greatest. Is the greatest. So, Al-Iman bi Asma'illah wa Sifatihi, to have Iman by Allah names and attributes, is one of the pillars of Iman by Allah. It is not one of them, it is the greatest of them. And to be monotheistic is one of the items of monotheism, which are 3. What are the 3? Tawheed al-Rububiyyah, to be monotheistic in His lordship, al-Rububiyyah, as Rabb, and Tawheed al-Uluhiyyah, to take Him as unique ilah to be worshipped, because He is having the unique names and attributes. So when I talk about Allah, most beautiful names and attributes, I am saying that not only should I know, it is the greatest to be known. Why? Because it is the most important knowledge about our Lord we should know. We should know. Not only that, the most important thing again is we are not going to worship Allah properly and perfectly except if we came to know properly and perfectly about Him. So I am worshipping Him, seeing Him, calling Him by the names He, Jalla wa Ala, is teaching me. Because al-ihsan, to be benevolent, is to worship Allah as you are seeing Him. This is the first and the greatest. If you are not able to see Him, take the second, which is be sure He is seeing you. Again, why we are studying in details Allah's most beautiful names and attributes, and are we ordered to know about as deep as that, as accurately as that, as in details as that? Yes, because according to the verses we have just now mentioned, which are Al-A'raf 180, Al-Isra 110, Taha 8, Al-Hashr 24, Allah is telling us about Himself. In Surah Al-A'raf, وَلِلَّهِ الْأَسْمَاءُ الْحُسْنَى فَادْعُوهُ بِهَا. And don't follow those deviating or trying to shift from the proper names to the opposite. They are going to be insulted due to their deeds, bad deeds and sins. So leave them. This is in Surah Al-A'raf. And in Surah Al-Isra, He's saying, قُلُ ادْعُوا اللَّهَ أَوْ ادْعُوا الرَّحْمَنَ. If you call Him as Allah or you call Him as Ar-Rahman, the most merciful, both are His. أَيَّمَّا تَدْعُوا فَلَهُ الْأَسْمَاءُ الْحُسْنَى. Not only that, all His names are Husna, the most perfect. And in Surah Taha, Allahu la ilaha illa huwa lahu al-asma'ul husna. Allah, none but Him, has the most beautiful names. And in Surah Al-Hashr, هو الله الخالق البارئ المصور له الأسماء الحسنى يسبح له ما في السماوات والأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم. He is the creator, the fashioner, the most glorified. All those inhabitants of heavens and earths are glorifying Him, praising Him all the time, mentioning His names, heavens and earth. So all these are data to know that we are enforced to know in details about our Lord. So, number one, from Allah Jalla wa Ala Quran, we are ordered to come to know about Him. He is telling us about Him. And we cannot worship Allah perfectly and correctly without proper knowledge about Him. So if I came to know Him, I will worship Him as if I'm seeing Him. Plus, His most beautiful names, if I need Him, I will not call Him by any names. I'll call Him by the names according to the situation. For example, I need provision, so I'll call the provider. I need to be cured, so I'll call Him by His name, the curable, who can cure me. So if I came to know the names, I'll call him with these names according to the situation. Not putting that instead of that as if he is not having these attributes. Again, if I am oriented by the fact that Allah has attributes, acting attributes inside the names, I would call him according to the situation. I need provision, I'll ask the provider. I need to be pregnant and having kids, I'll ask the bestower. I am in great trouble and very afraid, I'll ask the most sufficient. I'll escape to him as the most reliance. Understand? So according to the situation, I'll call him with the suitable name. So if I came to know his names and attributes perfectly, I'll call him perfectly. I'll worship my Lord ala basira. I am well oriented how to worship my Lord. And that's why knowledge, to have proper knowledge, accurate knowledge about Allah's most beautiful names and attributes is considered ashraf al-ulum ala al-itlaq. It is the most honorable science to be gained. And not only that, it is the greatest doors for monotheism. أعظم أبواب التوحيد. And not only that, أزكى العلوم وأعلاها وأحسنها وأعظمها وأفضلها وأوجبها. See, you have to know this. Wait for me. See? Let us analyze that. To be oriented by Allah's most beautiful names and attributes and deeds, this is the most honorable signs forever. أشرف العلوم على الإطلاق. The most honorable. The greatest to reach. And it is the greatest doors for monotheism. I'll be able to worship him uniquely, to make him the unique, if I know him very well. If I know him very well, I dare not to put any beside him, whatever that any. He is my kids, he is my husband, he is my mom, he is my dad, he is my neighbor, he is my glorified rank. I am respecting. Whatever will be minimized beside his great honorable degree. So it is considered ashraf al-ulum, the most honorable science to be known. أعظم أبواب التوحيد, the greatest doors for monotheism, to make him unique as a Lord. You will never be able to monosize him, to make him to be monotheistic without knowledge about him. So it is أزكى العلوم وأعلاها. It is the most precious thing to be spent, the highest rank to gain, the best and the greatest, and the thing you should أوجبها, you should know about it. Why? Because شرف العلم من شرف المعلوم. This thing is honored according to the thing I'm talking about, and we are talking about Allah, the most honorable. So knowledge about him should be the most honorable. شرف العلم من شرف المعلوم. شرف. See, شرف العلم من شرف المعلوم. What's the meaning? The subject you are learning will be considered great or the opposite according to the subject you are talking about. So for sure, ولله المثل الأعلى, for sure, if you are talking, for example, about decoration, it will not be of the same significance as you are talking about how to cure those suffering from cancers. See, this is a subject and this is a subject. Decoration, how to make your home well decorated. And the other subject is how to be able to care with a patient with malignant disease, whatever that disease is. Which is more important? Surely caring with a malignant patient. So according to the subject comes the importance of the matter you are talking about. So we are talking about Allah Jalla wa Ala, the highest rank of knowledge. Talking about Allah Jalla wa Ala is the highest rank of knowledge. That's why the subject talking about Him will be the most honorable science to talk about. And the knowledge known from will be the greatest, most honorable, highly praised knowledge. And that's why it is in Arabic, but it is tasty words to know. It is tasty words to know. See? That branch أشرف ما صرفت فيه الأنفاس. The breath you are taking, inspiration and expiration, is considered time consumer. You are taking your breath, which is the thing makes you able to be alive. It takes you certain time. So if these breathes, inspiration, expiration, are spent in searching and fetching about more knowledge about your Lord, it will be the most precious breathes to be taken. Do you understand? Do you feel? And it is the best, only intelligent, only with precious feelings, with meticulous fine touches in your heart. It is خير ما سعى في تحصيله الأكياس. If you are trying to search about things, you are searching about treasure, for example. So this is the best treasure you can search about. It is the best treasure. If you are searching about treasure, you feel yourself searching about very precious treasure. It is the most precious treasure you can search about is to have accurate, proper knowledge about your Lord. And not only that, it is the greatest door. It is the greatest door which, if opened, you will gain your Lord the love and the contentment. الباب الأعظم لمعرفته ونيل محابه ورضاه. To know about Him. See, He Jalla wa'ala creates us to know about Him. So if you are spending your time, trying to know more and more about Him, it is the most precious breathes you are taking. The time you are doing inspiration and expiration, as if you are running to know more and more, it is the most peaceful, the most precious, the most honorable, the most highly ranked levels of honor to search and gain are these times. And Allah confirms that by Surah Muhammad 19. In Surah Muhammad 19, Allah is saying, فَعْلَمْ, you have to know, أَنَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. See, Allah is saying to Muhammad, may Allah exalt his mention, فَعْلَمْ, فَعْلَمْ, you should know, not just words, no, proper knowledge that He is unique. فَاعْلَمْ أَنَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ, none but Him. فَاعْلَمْ, what should I know, my Lord? That none but Him. أنه لا إله إلا الله. And then, what is this means? It means that He is the most merciful. So if you commit any sins, go and ask His forgiveness. فاستغفر لذنبك. Go and ask Him His forgiveness, because you came to know about Him. واستغفر لذنبك وللمؤمنين والمؤمنات, and be sure that والله يعلم متقلبكم ومثواكم. Allah is very oriented about the meticulous movement you are going here and there. Where are you going? Where are you moving? Where are you settled? Or all are under His full control. So be cautious. Again, what is the meaning of Iman by Allah's names and attributes? What is the meaning of Iman by Allah's names and attributes? To have belief in Allah's names and attributes. What is this means? I have many names for Allah Jalla wa'ala. What is the meaning of Iman bi Asma'illah wa Sifati? What is the meaning of having Iman in Allah names and attributes? What is the meaning of to believe in Allah names and attributes? See with me. معناه, its meaning, معناه فهمها. So number one, to understand it. حفظها, to know it by heart. الاعتراف بها, to say yes, it is true. To give confess, to say yes, it is right. If you came to know that Allah Basir, the all-seeing, yes, Allah Basir. Not just name, without inside attributes. If you came to know that Allah Al-Muntaqim Al-Jabbar, He can take revenge to, no, don't say that about Allah. No, Allah can take revenge from His enemies. So it is right. So al-i'tiraf biha, to say yes, it is. So again, what's the meaning of Iman by names and attributes? معناها, فهمها, to understand it. حفظها, to know it by heart. الاعتراف بها, to give confession that it is right like that. And then التعبد بها. التعبد بها, to worship Allah by. What is the meaning? If I came to know that Allah Basir, I'm quite sure that Allah can see me. So I will be ashamed to do anything Allah can see me against what He wants or what He likes. It will be reflected on me to be cautious. He's seeing me. If I am oriented that Allah is the all-hearing, I dare not to say any word against me. He is calculating. He is recording. He is hearing. So I'll be very meticulous in what I am saying, in what I am hearing, in what I am behaving. So I am worshipping Allah by التعبد لله بها. التعبد لله بها is very important to know. For example, I want you to be oriented by this fact, because Ramadan is about, mashallah, to come. If during Ramadan one of the girls are in her menstrual cycle, he's in menstruation, she cannot fast, she is worshipping Allah by eating. She's worshipping Allah by not fasting. She's worshipping Allah by that. Because many of the girls are hiding that, and they are saying to others, we are fasting, and they aren't. Because they are ashamed to tell others that they are not fasting in Ramadan. Whereas Allah ordered us for that. So I'm worshipping Allah by being not fasting. Do you understand? Do you understand? So العمل بمقتضاها, العمل بمقتضاها if I came to know the result of that name, I am working by that result. Again, I am quite sure that Allah Basir. So I dare not, while I am alone, none with me, to commit sin. Because He is with me. He's seeing. So, Iman by Allah, names and attributes, not only to calculate them and enumerating them by names, no. It is understanding al-fahm, فهمها, حفظها, to know it by heart, الاعتراف بها, to give you confession about that yes, it is real and right, التعبد لله بها. I'm worshipping Allah by. I am worshipping Allah by. والعمل بمقتضاها. My behavior is according to that. So Allah, as we are going to say inshallah, that Allah names and attributes are divided into groups. So to know about Allah grandiosity and arrogance and widespread kingdom, it makes the hearts flutter from fear. You feel that you dare not to commit sins. He is the greatest. He is the highest. He is always and forever who can conquer any. So, to know about attributes indicating strong attributes, for example, the subjugator, Qahhar, he can conquer any, or Al-Kabir, the magnificent, he is greater than any. These attributes makes the slave fear from that Lord. And also knowledge about attributes of his widespread knowledge, for example, the omniscient, al-muhit, he is well oriented by anything. So where to go? Where to be escaped? Where to hide my mistakes? His knowledge is expanded here and there to include any. He, Jalla wa Ala, is the one whose power and knowledge encompasses all of his creation. So where to go? So this gives the slave to be broken, to feel slavery nature, to be humiliated in between his Lord's hands. And also knowledge about attributes of mercy, attributes of generosity, attributes of being the most loving. All these makes the hearts eager to gain his benevolence. Eager. You are eager to escape to him if you are in trouble, because he's the most generous, he's the most merciful, he is the most loving. All these attributes, see, do you feel it? Do you feel it? That the situation of the slave differs according to the attribute. We are talking about attributes of grandiosity and higher and arrogant nature and ability to conquer any. These attributes makes you feel something which is quite different from looking to the attributes of mercy, the attributes of the most loving, the attributes of the loftiest attributes. So the attribute itself makes the behavior changed. And also, if you are oriented about his knowledge, ilm, and that his knowledge encompasses everything all around, so you will feel shy before trying to commit any sin. Where are you going? Where are you going? So as you see that this is the just ABC. We didn't complete anything. These are just meticulous knowledge about Fiqh al-Asmaa Assefat. Before leaving that, it is highly interested to me to know all the time about Allah more and more. It also greatly differs for you to read in Quran. To read Quran with that knowledge, you are very meticulous in understanding the minute words in the Quran, its meaning. So I'll give you an example before finishing that lesson by saying that Iman by Allah and His names and His attributes and deeds are considered the limestone, the root. If you have a great building, that building should have roots inside. These limestone or roots, or the so-called asas bunyan ad-din, the whole deen is built on Iman by Allah and His names and His attributes and His deeds. Iman by Allah, names, attributes and deeds are the roots of a very strong building. That building is the deen. And as if it is a body, okay? Knowledge about Allah and His most beautiful names and attributes are considered the head. The head. See the importance of the head in comparison with the body and limbs. The most important is the head. It contains the brain, it contains the eyes, it contains the ears, it contains the method to talk. So the knowledge by Allah names and attributes, if compared to the whole deen, it is like the head compared to the body. And it is also considered as the root or the limestone of any building. If that root is strong, it can carry the building. It can carry the building. If that root is weak, any scratches in the building will let the building it will fall down. Whereas if the roots are strong, any storm or any affection of the body can be cured. So the root or the limestone of the whole deen is Iman by Allah, names and attributes and deeds. If that knowledge is firm, perfect and correct, it will carry your whole deen strongly and firmly, and you will never ever be affected by these tests and temptations we are all around us. You will never feel afraid. You will never fear anybody. You will never ever feel meticulous upset or boring sensation or hope to escape from that trouble, you will go and sleep safely. You will go and sleep safely because you are quite sure that you are a slave of a great Lord, a most kind Lord, a most capable Lord, a most generous Lord, the richest, who can all the time give, never in need to take. The richest, he isn't in need of any, and he can support all continuously with maximum support, without feeling any boring, without feeling any trouble. He is alive all the time. He isn't in need to rest, to take nap, to sleep. His treasures are all the time full, and he can do forever all kinds of mercy, of love, of giving. He is our Lord, beloved, beloved, beloved Lord, whom if you came to know, you will never ever give a minute space for any other than him. He and not but him. He and nobody else deserve to look for or to think about or to dream with or to hope to gain his love. He's enough. جزاكم الله خيرا. بارك الله فيكم. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.